the global leader in cloud computing services, which was introduced by Amazon back in 2006, and since then it has been the global leader in the market. And currently, AWS offers more than 150 plus services for different categories of computation, networking, databases, storage, migration, IoT, AR, VR. There are multiple categories in which they are in total they are 150 plus services. To be precise, it is 157 services being offered in total. We are using, that's it. And here it's simply the entire billing is done on the basis of pay as you go model. That means here we have to pay only for the resources we are using. That's it. Fox, they are the biggest use cases for Docker containers, manage ECS, and they use it for scaling elastic load bands. All is simply by. And now we have divided in regions and zones. That's a billing for entire areas that we have. Now, if you talk about the complete architecture for AWS, and AWS is divided, even AWS and all the other platforms, they are divided in regions and zones. For example, if you talk about regions, then suppose if this is the entire globe, and if we have one physical data center available, suppose we had deployed one physical data center in Mumbai, and now we have users who are coming in from North Virginia. We have users who are coming in from, let's suppose, from Johannesburg. We have users who are coming in from London, from Tokyo, from Moscow. We have users who are coming in from Singapore, from Sydney. So if we have users coming in from global level, and if we had deployed our application in a single data center, then especially when we are getting multi-million requests on a daily basis, then this is, if all the requests are being handled by a single data center, that is going to create a situation of bottleneck. That means this is going to make sure that the entire application goes down in the quickest time possible. Correct? So for reducing the latency, and for anyone coming from North Virginia, if they are being served by the servers in Mumbai, they are going to receive a high amount of latency. And plus the entire servers, they are bound to fail because of high number of requests being served by a single instance here. So that's why in order to make sure that the entire services are well distributed and the chances of failovers are reduced, plus the performance is also improved. That's why we have AWS has multiple data centers spread globally. We have multiple data centers spread globally, so that if anyone is coming from anywhere closer to North Virginia, they can access the services which has been deployed in a region closer to them. Same way for Tokyo, same way for Singapore, for Sydney, and so on, so that we can reduce the dependency on a single data center. And obviously we have to choose a server which is closer to our end users rather than deploying the same server at a far away location. Correct? And that exactly is what we have structured as a region in the entire AWS environment. And just like every state has city. For example, if we say, okay, we live in an XYZ state, that means at the end we are also living in a city in that state itself. Correct? Same way, every region has multiple availability zones. So for example, let's say if you talk about Mumbai, then Mumbai has three zones. We have 1A, 1B, and 1C, and these are referred as availability zones, commonly abbreviated as AZ, availability zones. So we have to, whenever we are deploying the application, we have to choose the region, and then we have to choose the zone as well. That means in which particular zone we want to deploy our services. So basically what we can do, we can maintain copies of our data set in multiple zones, so that if one zone is not available and if we have a data stored in some other zones as well, still the application can be up and running. Still the data can be accessed via the copy stored in another zone. All right. So are we clear on the concept of regions and availability zones till this point? Please give me a quick information, everyone. data centers spread globally, because we don't want to serve the entire applications by using just one physical data center. So AWS has multiple data centers available in across the entire globe. So they are in total, there are 22 regions defined, and then we have almost more than 67 availability zones in these 22 different regions. So that, for example, if we know that even though we are sitting in Mumbai, but we know that our application users are mostly coming in from North Virginia, then we can deploy one application copy in North Virginia, so that we can, to any user who is trying to access the application by the entire North America, they can, instead of that request coming down and being served by the Mumbai data center, they can be served by the copy which we have saved in North Virginia, as a concept of regions and availability zones. So we can erase this up. And they are in total, there are 22 different regions and there are 67 availability zones. So as you can see from the map, so we can see now whatever we can see in orange, these are different zones. And then in the green section, we have upcoming zones coming up. And we have, as you can see, we have regions in Mumbai, in Singapore, Sydney, Seoul, Beijing, Tokyo, on Ireland, London, Frankfurt, in Canada Central, in North Virginia, in North California, in Ohio. It's up have computation, migration, security, storage, networking, messaging, databases, management tools, and analytics. So we have a complete list of all the services available in these different core domains that we are going to focus on step by step as we move further with the course here. So for example, in computation, if we have to take a deeper look at the services available,